Thank you very much, Mr. Cobini. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, first of all, I would like to thank SIPSU and WIPO, organizers of this event, for the invitation to participate in the 22nd International Conference on Current Issues of Intellectual Property in Ukraine. It is a pleasure for me being here today, welcoming you all to this 3-day-long debate session. I will try to not stand too long my speech. I know we're a bit on a schedule, but just allow me to highlight a couple of issues. Well, first of all, as a resident twinning advisor of a twinning project financed by the European Union, strengthening the protection and the enforcement of intellectual property rights in Ukraine, through the assistance of the Spanish and the Danish patent and trademark offices, we are already closely working together and collaborating with our SIPSU partners on several topics. First of all, we are supporting Ukrainian authorities drafting key legislation according to the international or European Union standards in the sphere of enforcing intellectual property rights in Ukraine. In doing so, we are already advising SIPSU in issues such as copyright protection on the internet, collective management, and also on other legal measures that should be adopted according to the association agreement signed between Ukraine and the European Union. Furthermore, we are also assisting Ukraine on enhancing the institutional capacity and coherent coordination of SIPSU and other public institutions involved in the enforcement and protection of IP rights in the country. Finally, over the 18 months duration of this project, we are also training staff from related stakeholders, such as customs officials, judges, state inspectors, and examiners of industrial property, in order to strengthen their professional skills in the protection of and enforcement of the IP rights in Ukraine. All these efforts are just one more example on how serious the European Union, as well as other our United States partners, take the commitment to support Ukraine in improving the situation of the protection of intellectual property rights. But the European Union, as might be said before, takes this very seriously because IP rights are very important to the economical development of any country. One of the main reasons leading to fail on the appropriate protection of intellectual property rights is failing to understand their value. It is very important to assess correctly the real value of the industries based primarily on intellectual property rights. The added value of industrial and intellectual rights intensive industries represents within the European Union 29% of the gross domestic product and a 39% of the total gross domestic product and a 26% of the European Union employments. These figures are for year 2012, but they will be continuing the same. And to that extent, certain day will be nice to have that figures also applying for Ukraine. So when a certain country failed to protect their intellectual property rights, it is directly affected in several spheres, like economically, discouraging investment or transfer of technology. In terms of consumer protection or health protection, it's clear that it damages and the dangers regarding fake medication or food or electronic devices, but also in issues such as public order and security. We are seeing how the increase of organized crime levels are involved in the failing of the intellectual property rights, and also by losing fiscal revenues, being, for instance, non-collection of taxes. So according to this reality, we should not be surprised then when the chapter of intellectual property rights within the association agreement between Ukraine and the European Union is by far the longest. Just before finishing, I would like to apologize on behalf of the European Union delegation representatives for not being here today with us. In fact, their absence is duly justified as they're receiving the first visit, just starting today, of the supporting group for Ukraine, recently created by the European Commission in order to help Ukraine, especially in these troubled days. And finally, as a last remark and personal remark, let me take this opportunity to mention that living in Kiev for the last few months and working hand by hand with my colleagues from SIPSU and from the Institute of Industrial Property, helping them on their daily basis to improve the situation of intellectual property rights in the country. It's quite a nice experience. I believe believe me when I say that it's been great and delightful experience. Very challenging, I have to admit though, but I'm really surprised by the attitude and compromise of the people I'm working with. Their attitude is remarkable, and I'm really impressed at the personal level of their commitment under the current circumstances. Thank you very much to all of you for being here today. Good luck over these 3 days discussion. There's a lot of things to do. So, дякую, слава Україні.